outside, you can put it on her. Hello and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I go live again. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips and balance in favor of fair use. I hope everyone's doing good today. In Matthew 18, verse 6, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Matthew 18, verse 10. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. In Isaiah 1:17, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. I'm going to put right here, trigger warning. That's very imperative. So Johnson City, Tennessee is failing. A lot of people have failed a lot of women. There's a lot of cities that in the United States are filled with police corruption, judges being corrupt, police being corrupt. I'm not saying every city, that every policeman is like that. Thank you for the policemen that do help and do care for our citizens, that do care to try to lock these people up that are predators. We deserve to be safe. We deserve to go to town and not have to worry about people per se like this monster here. Hello, Chris. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. Hello, everybody. Please come in and say hello. And remember to hit the thumbs up so I can know that you're in here, because I like to acknowledge you and appreciate the fact that you're in here. As I said, when you put the thumbs up at YouTube, it helps spread the message even further. God bless y'all. Without further ado, Johnson City, Tennessee Police Corruption. Let me go and share the page. I know the problems in Franklin County, Tennessee as well. So the guy here basically is Sean Williams. That's where it's sparking from. A Tale of Bo. That is his pseudonym. They gave him the nickname of how Sean Williams earned his pseudonym. This is May the 15th. Kingsport, Tennessee. Few people have had more vested interest in the capture of fugitive Sean Williams than Michaela Evans, and were it not for a life-shattering event in Evans' life, Williams may never have been a fugitive at all. Evans miraculously survived a 5-story fall from a window at Williams' downtown Johnson City apartment in the wee hours of September the 19th, 2020. So this has been going on a while. And these women want justice, we want freedom, We want to be able to know that our voices matter, and we're tired of these people getting away with continuing on to hurt women and children and others. The investigation into that incident sparked a chain of events that resulted in Williams's indictment on federal weapons charges in April 2021. His plight for justice in May 2021 and a lawsuit by former federal attorney last year, Evans is known as Jane Doe 1 in that suit. Katie Cat Dahl worked as an assistant U.S. attorney in an agreement with Johnson City where she helped Johnson City Police Department take serious drug and weapons violations federal. Her suit claims that Johnson City Police stonewalled her as she pressed them to investigate multiple claims that Williams was a drug trafficker and a serial rapist. Then they fired her in retaliation for her efforts. Thank you so much, Kateri Dahl. Taylor Evans continues to struggle with health issues more than 2.5 years after surviving a five-story fall. We are there for you and with you, lady. Y'all please give some hearts for Miss Michaela Evans and give hearts also for Kateri Cat Dolly. What I wanted from the get-go was for people to know his name and his face. Evans told News Channel 11 Monday, 17 days after Williams was arrested in North Carolina after nearly 2 years on the run. That way, if there's other victims in other states that can come forward, and that way they know who the person is. Who this person is, at least according to Dahl's lawsuit, is someone police should have made much more effort to build sexual assault and drug trafficking cases against. Until late Friday, Williams' link to the lawsuit was obscured because he was identified by a pseudonym, Robert Bowe. There's a false pseudonym, so he was getting away with a lot of things, right? Due to his being on the run from a sealed federal indictment. Sealed! Sealed! It was not unsealed, it was sealed. Dahl's suit says she gathered substantial evidence that Williams had not just been dealing drugs, but was credibly accused of raping multiple women and had possibly caused the death of one of his victims. Dahl did all of that because police came to her in November 2020 because they had found ammunition in Williams's safe while investigating Evans's fall. A federal crime if someone has been convicted of certain levels of felonies, which Williams had in the past. Evans, who has never accused Williams of sexually assaulting her, said she'd become convinced that Williams, who has not been charged with sexually assaulting anyone, did victimize women and would have continued to do so. Dahl's lawsuit mentions a total of 10 Jane Does. Maybe he's like, man, I wish I'd never let this girl come into my apartment, but I'm glad he did. Because if it wasn't for me, there'd be a lot of people out there that would have become his victim or worse things that could have happened. And I'm just glad he can't hurt nobody else. Let's see about that, right? We'll go more into it. That's what the lawsuit's about. Yeah, anger issues, please do not watch. Exactly, Chris. But should make everybody angry because these women are not protected. That means you would not be protected either from these people. So police in North Carolina reported Williams had 12 ounces of cocaine and 14 ounces of meth when they arrested him in Western Carolina University April the 29th. Because of a federal warrant of being a felon in possession of ammunition, he was transferred to federal custody and arraigned May the 9th. The Evans fell from one of the fifth floor windows in the middle of this photo at 200 East Main Street in Johnson City. That led to the arrest being unsealed, and late Friday, a federal judge granted a motion for Dahl's attorneys to use his real name in the lawsuit, which they had requested be redacted due to the sealed indictment. Why are y'all trying to cover for the predator? Why? Yeah, if you're under age 18, please don't watch. Evans remembers little from the night she fell. She said she doesn't know how she fell from the window, but as she recovered from near fatal injuries, Evans learned more about Dahl's inquiries into Williams, who, according to her lawsuit, had previously been named as a suspect in two of Johnson City police reports for sexual assault. Hmm. But they didn't investigate? Many more alleged victims came forward to Dahl, and Evans said she started an organization called Speak Up, Speak Out that supports victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. This has been an escalation because of everything that's happened to me and all the stuff that happened to me and all the stuff I learned along the way about the criminal involved with me, Mr. Williams, Evans said. I have reached out and I'm friends with some of the other victims, and I want to just help everybody. I want to now become an advocate. Welcome back, Shelley. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Evan's life since leaving the hospital weeks later has been filled with physical and psychological pain. She uses a walker, needs a soft cushion when she sits, and experiences post traumatic stress disorder from that night, as does her son, who was 8 at the time. I would hope that since a couple years have passed, that she's not using a walker. She's healed enough, but she don't have to use a walker the rest of her life. But says I still have days when I feel like I'm going to fall over and fall down. I walk unbalanced. I still have broken screws in my pelvic that I need surgery on, Evans said. I'm going back to physical and occupational therapy again for my hand and my leg to get them moving better and to get some muscle mass back, and my mental health has completely been horrible. I really think that the police in that county need to be sued for sure and need to pay this lady restitution. She said her son has also experienced post traumatic stress, but that their relationship keeps her going. She's a regular at his baseball games. I have to keep pushing. I said, buddy, you're my kid. I can't stop being your mom just because I got hurt. We got to keep pushing forward. Let's remember those words when we feel like giving up. We got to push forward. If I didn't have a child, I probably would have given up a long time ago, she added. Dahl's lawsuit isn't set for trial until May 2024, but Evans said she hopes to attend one of Williams' court dates. I guess for him to see my face, which I think will make me feel good about it, she said. If nothing else, make it trigger something. Maybe it can trigger something in him. Maybe guilt. I don't know if he feels that. But if he does, maybe he feels guilty even. I don't know. Being around me that night. Williams' ammunition trial is scheduled for August 22nd. Okay, let's get past this. Okay, I think this is rather interesting over here. I'm going to give y'all a little brief right here. Thoughts and prayers for her, Shelley. I'm sorry that your daughter has to suffer PTSD from her attacks. So sorry. Now look at here, right here, people. Okay, I don't see the actual date. Again, this should be a national story. Local Johnson City party boy Sean Williams accused of raping 50 plus women and kids. He had a rape list, y'all. Did y'all see this in black and white? He actually had a rape list. Wow. Escaped custody as police are sued for knowing, joking about what he was doing, downplaying rape in general. Y'all remember somebody else who I interviewed quite a bit, and they laugh about harming the kids that they did, murdering the kids they did, raping the kids they did. Seems like this is the same scenario here as it was in Atlanta, Georgia as well. Okay, you see the key points over here? You got to see the key points right here, okay? Johnson City businessman Sean Williams is accused of sexually assaulting more than 50 unconscious women and 2 young children in incidents he allegedly photographed and videotaped. Mm-mm-mm. He escaped from custody on October the 18th and remains a fugitive, which is the city is now roiled in lawsuits from its victims and a former federal prosecutor who alleged that police for years failed to investigate Williams, even as multiple women came forward. There's where did police refuse to investigate serial rapists inside the case Rockin in Tennessee City? If y'all got the Tennessean and you got a subscription there, there's a lot more things that you can find in there than what I'm able to open because I don't want to. Look at here. The suspect, Sean Williams, 52, is accused of drugging and sexually assaulting more than 50 unconscious women in incidents he allegedly captured in photos and videos. He's also accused of sexually assaulting 2 children, including a baby under 2 years old. Whoa. Oh, if y'all don't make it, will be an advocate to try to help kids and women. I don't know what will. Suspicious of the fall, police investigated the case as a possible attempted homicide and seized electronic devices and surveillance video from Williams's condo. They also took a safe containing firearm ammunition and recovered a handwritten list of Williams' nightstand, according to a search affidavit. At the top of the list was the word raped. You see that? At the top of the list that police found was raped, followed by the first names of 21 females, plus another listed as no-name girl. Doe in her lawsuit said the police chief Carl Turner questioned the handwritten rape list found on Williams's nightstand, wondering if it was simply girls he had consensual sex with, and calls it whatever he calls it. Do what? Do what? He literally put down rape, right? So then, you got the evidence behind some very bad information, and you're saying, well, maybe it's just all the girls he had consensual sex with. No, 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 it's not really a rape list. Well, Police Chief Carl Turner, I hope you get under the jail. I hope you get arrested for this. I hope and pray you do. At one point, a detective quipped, in my 20 years on the force, I've only encountered one real rape, while another said about a Jane Doe. You can see her in the security footage, and she dressed like a real, well, I won't say it according to the suit. Also, now they're trying to say, oh, she dressed like a whore. Wow. So let me give the thanks and gratitude to Blind Justice Incorporated, Betrayal of Johnson City. I'll have to end up muting myself where y'all could hear what I said. So please bear with me. And information.
Betrayal in Johnson City. How police protected a predator and left hundreds of women to suffer. Johnson City, Tennessee has agreed to pay a staggering $28 million to settle a class action lawsuit brought by hundreds of women who say they were systematically ignored, silenced, and betrayed by the very police department sworn to protect them. But this wasn't just negligence. It was a deliberate cover-up of a serial predator's crimes. For years, Sean Williams, a wealthy businessman, allegedly drugged, raped, and trafficked women with impunity. His victims reported their assaults to the Johnson City Police Department, but instead of investigating, officers buried their complaints. According to the lawsuit, police not only dismissed evidence, but actively shielded Williams, accepting bribes and obstructing justice to keep him free. Between 2018 and 2021, Williams was accused of assaulting countless women, some of them minors. In 2023, he was finally arrested, not because of police intervention, but after he escaped from custody, leading federal investigators to his home, where they discovered more than 5,000 images of child sexual abuse and videos showing him raping at least 52 unconscious women. Yet, shockingly, Williams has not been criminally charged for these specific assaults. The lawsuit exposed the depth of corruption within the Johnson City Police Department. Officers failed to collect rape kits, ignored witness testimonies, and reportedly pressured victims to stay silent. An external investigation found clear and repeated instances where police intentionally obstructed justice, neglected to file reports, and allowed a rapist to operate unchecked for years. Despite overwhelming evidence of police complicity, city officials continue to deny wrongdoing. Johnson City does not blame these victims whatsoever, Commissioner Jenny Brock stated. It was Sean Williams that is to blame for all of this. Yet, the $28 million settlement suggests otherwise, a desperate attempt to sweep years of corruption under the rug and avoid a trial that could expose even more damning truths. For the estimated 400 victims, the settlement is not justice. Many of them fought for years to be heard, only to be dismissed or threatened into silence. Their suffering was not the result of oversight, but of a calculated decision by those in power to protect a rapist rather than the women he preyed upon. Now the question remains, will those who enabled Williams be held accountable? Or will this settlement serve as just another way for a corrupt system to buy its way out of true justice?
We're going to take a deep breath after that. Can y'all believe it's more than just 50 women? That is over 400 victims that the Johnson City Police Department kept letting these women, multiple women, too many. You can't even really say multiple because it's over 400 victims. Over 400. These cops, the judges, everyone that's turned their back on the women, they need to be held accountable. I got to plug in my computer. So give me a second here. Please give hearts out to the victims. So here's one of the cases where the lawsuit, the feds looking into Johnson City Police Department corruption allegations. The court has been the subject of a federal public corruption probe related to Sean Williams' sexual assault cases and federal lawsuits tied to Williams. Since he had a sex trafficking ring, as it's stated, how many of these cops really were part of that sex trafficking? How many of these officers bought our kids? Well, really, it don't matter whether they bought our kids or not. Them allowing it, allowing the trafficking of these ladies, allowing the trafficking of our kids. A kid under the age of 2, there's got to be a lot more victims out there too. Look at all the missing kids over there around Kingsport. Look at that. Now we got one in particular, that's around the Kingsport, Tennessee area that we've been looking for a long time. We can't but help but wonder when we see this case, could he be any way affiliated with that? We don't know, right? This is one sicko, for sure. A motion filed Tuesday Thursday mentions a federal investigation. It was submitted by attorneys for alleged sexual assault victims of Williams, who have sued Johnson City and several former and current police officers based on available publicly confirmable information. News Channel 11 can't determine with certainty whether the investigation is complete or ongoing. Communications with the prosecution team for the federal public corruption investigation of the Johnson City Police Department, which spanned 520 pages of emails and attachments. Wow. Motion and Jane Doe's lawsuit referencing federal investigation. The motion for a protective order relates to subpoenas. A private investigator working for one of those officers, retired Captain Kevin Peters, served to plaintiffs on February the 13th. A number of the women have shifted their status in the suit to being members in a class action, but not representatives, and their lawyers argue they shouldn't be subject to subpoenas and other discovery efforts in the case. Yeah, see where Sean Williams' alleged victims speak out, says city manager, victim blamed them. Wow. The city manager, victim blamed. I'm so sorry, ladies. I'm so sorry that I can't stand it when they want to victim blame. And yet they're the ones that's supposed to serve and protect. It's their responsibility to serve and protect, right? It is not the victim's fault. You are just as much a predator if you do not protect the innocent. Daniel Rader IV, Peter's attorney, has argued the opposite as the parties continued their legal tussle over a 43-point request for everything from emails and texts to reports filed by the women. Radar and Peters allegedly hired the investigator to find the women and serve subpoenas. Sorry. A footnote in the motion notes that after the clients called and expressed their distress over being served papers at home or work, the plaintiff's attorney stepped up to provide some requested materials. Those included, for example, plaintiffs' counsel's communications with the prosecution team for the federal public corruption investigation of the Johnson City Police Department, which spanned 520 pages of emails and attachments. The initial June 23 lawsuit on behalf of non-Jane Doe alleged victims claimed the Johnson City Police Department essentially enabled Williams to conduct a sex trafficking operation, allegedly drugging and raping dozens of women when he lived in a downtown Johnson City apartment. This is why Roland Cerna's organization can really help a lot. The Wonderful Rescue Foundation in Nashville, Tennessee. It accuses this this initial lawsuit accuses police of looking the other way and in some cases benefiting financially for doing so. The city of Johnson City and the Johnson City Police Department have denied all allegations. Okay, they're going to deny. Guess what? There's proof, okay? News Channel 11 requested confirmation or statement regarding a federal investigation from the city of Johnson City. City Manager Kathy Ball provided the reply. We cannot speak to any aspect of a lawsuit. I can say that we welcome any investigation that could dispel claims of illegal activity or corruption within the Johnson City Police Department. But guess what? When y'all put all this, guess what? You're guilty because y'all are. Oh. Yeah, I love Roland too. He is amazing, isn't he, Shirley? Through Raider, y'all can look him up at Facebook as well. Be a part of the of us rescuing women and children, abused women, trafficked children. I want to be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. These people are a part of the problem right here. The Raider Peters had continued to insist on serving the subpoenas on all alleged victims. not just those who are now considered class representatives and the plaintiff lawyers have said are fair game for subpoenas. The Heather Moore Collins, Vanessa Moore Jones, and Elizabeth Kramer, the plaintiff's attorneys, argue that multiple legal findings weigh against subjecting class members who aren't representatives to subpoenas or other discovery. They claim everything from the huge number of requests to the technical expertise needed to comply with them make them invalid. And that much of the information sought isn't relevant to the case. So it looks like a lot of things they want to try to do is to harass, make possibly the victims lose their jobs by giving them so much things that they got to put out there, endangering their life, being able to keep their livelihood, their jobs. They also argue that Peters and Rader acted wrongly in unilaterally sending the investigator out with paperwork that said, "You are commanded to produce the materials by March the 14th." Okay, I'm doing that mockingly. Defendant Peters did not seek leave of court to serve the subpoenas, nor did he make any attempt to negotiate their contents or method of service with plaintiffs' counsel in advance. Moore Collins wrote in a declaration that also included redacted copies of the subpoenas. The motion, meanwhile, noted that aware that the subpoena's targets are survivors of violent crimes who understood their identities to be confidential. Peters had a private investigator visit their homes and workplaces out of the blue. He did what? Did y'all say that? It's their identity supposed to be confidential? Peters had a private investigator visit their homes and workplaces out of the blue? Okay, that does not make them safe. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. The motion added that after getting several alarmed phone calls from clients, their attorneys quickly communicated with Rader and agreed to accept service in exchange for Peters' counsel calling off the private investigator. Tendering the subpoenas in this manner distressed the recipients and caused them reasonable fear that their identities were no longer protected. Course, of course, I would be the same way. I mean, this must be, how dare he? How dare he come in there and do that? It said, yeah, corruption runs deep, and it's showing it here in Tennessee big time. Like I said, Governor Bill Lee and Senator Jack Johnson and Judge Deanna Johnson are part of the corruption as well. I will call out when I see it, and I showed the proof behind it. There's a lot of proof uh, in my lives too. It said request for communications between the alleged victims. Okay, y'all look up. There's a website that says the trouble in Franklin, Tennessee. Uh, maybe if I can't, um, I try to find it in my videos again or something if I can, and be able to share some of that input because I'm supposed to have it saved to my computer or my emails. And I can really show y'all the people in line that's for that corruption over there in Franklin County and with the Gracie and Grant Solomon stuff as well. So it says it's a request for communications between the alleged victims and Williams and any communication with others he assaulted, regardless of the subject matter, have no apparent relevance to the claims and offenses in the lawsuit and appear intended to chill survivors in their pursuit of justice. Meaning they want to silence them. They want to silence their voice. But if we as advocates, we are advocating for these women, any other child, any other man that might be a victim of all this, we will help get your voice out there, okay? The motion seeks an order prohibiting discovery on those unnamed class members absent leave of the court. Johnson City and all defendants have denied all claims in the lawsuit and a parallel one filed by former federal prosecutor Cat Dog. Of course, they're going to deny it. The defendants are going to deny it. You know, they don't want to show up any kind of responsibility. No, it didn't happen. No, but how come you got all these cases where, and you even had his name changed, right? How come you kept this thing sealed when somebody's a perpetrator, a predator, they don't need their documents sealed. We need to be able to find the documentation to keep everyone safe who might come in contact with him. Y'all agree? Put a one there if y'all agree, please. Johnson City and all defendants have denied all claims in the lawsuit and a parallel one filed with former federal prosecutor Kat Dahl. Williams was eventually charged with multiple counts of child rape and faces an August trial in federal court on production of child pornography charges. A search warrant affidavit also reveals he is alleged to have possessed digital files showing him sexually assaulted more than 50 different women at his Johnsonville City apartment when he was arrested in western North Carolina nearly a year ago after almost 2 years on the run. Whoa. So here we go over here, some more information on Sean Williams' alleged victims speak out. And this is in February 2024. They came to the podium and let loose on the city of Johnson City and its police department. Woohoo! Way to go! Way to go! I'm clapping my hands for y'all exposes. Yes. Alleged victims of accused serial rapist Sean Williams reacted what they called victim blaming by city manager Kathy Ball. It was hurtful to read what Mrs. Ball had said. The first of five alleged victims to speak Thursday said of Ball's comments about what's known as comparative fault at an August the 25th, 2023 news conference. Ball's comments included reference to some of the plaintiffs alleged taking illegal drugs when they visited Williams' downtown Johnson City apartment, where he allegedly drugged and raped them. It said alleged Sean Williams sexual assault victim Anya speaks during a news conference as attorneys Heather Moore, Colin Sleff, and Elizabeth Kramer Lacan. Ball made the comments in the context of a civil lawsuit against the city, saying defense attorneys needed to include the potential for using comparative fault among its defenses. And so they want to partially blame the woman, yet he drugged them. He drugged them. They want the women to take partial responsibility for what this sicko did to them. Wow. For your stupidity and saying these comments like that, if you want to do that, you need to be locked in a jail also. If successful, that defense could either decrease the damages due to a plaintiff or be seen as cause to vindicate a defendant. The city has denied all allegation against it in a lawsuit. Especially if you are in a position of power, your words matter. Another alleged victim said, survivors deserve to be treated with respect. For a woman in Kathy Ball's position of power to say publicly that victims are at fault when we didn't have the ability to defend ourselves was a punch in the gut. Yes. While Ball attempted on August the 25th to differentiate the civil concept of comparative fault from how she claimed the city would handle criminal sexual assault allegations, the alleged victims didn't see room for nuance. Well, how they're going to handle it? Well, don't look like they were handling it at all, right? Look like they were sweeping it under the rug. Look like they gave him a false identity. My daughter lived in Johnson City, and she told me how corrupt the police department is. Now she's got the proof right here behind the pudding, girl. She can come in reference to this and say, I told you so, right? Yes, I told you, Mom, here's your proof, right? The Wild Ball attended on August 25th, like I said that. After all, the evidence that had come out about Sean Williams, evidence proven he had raped over 50 women and sexually exploited children, I thought the city might take some accountability, the first woman to speak said. Instead, Mrs. Paul justified their lack of action by pointing fingers at us, at the victims of his crimes. I did not take any drugs before I was raped. I had been offered a beer. In addition to five alleged victims who spoke at the Tennessean Hotel in Knoxville Tuesday, two family members of Laura Trent, a woman who died in a car accident allegedly after an encounter with Williams that had left her highly distressed, spoke. If the Johnson, y'all, pray for Laura Trent's family. She died. She's one of the victims of this guy. If the Johnson City Police, you know what? Their family deserves compensation for the loss of Laura Trent as well, right? If the Johnson City Police had done their jobs, my sister would have never met Sean Williams on the night of November 10th, 2020, the sister said. If the Johnson City Police Department had done their jobs, Sean Williams would have been in jail a long time met him. Comments from each alleged victim who spoke are included later in the story. Attorneys for the women also spoke, primarily about Ball's comments August the 25th, which just came after the city filed a response to the initial lawsuit. It has since been amended and expanded into a class action, but the city has opposed those changes, and the judge's decision on allowing the amended suit is pending. Wow. Yeah, of course you're going to deny and not want to take class action against y'all. Come on now. You know what? Guess what? The federal government needs to take y'all up, and if it does not go through here, come on, Trump and all the other people. Come on, come up forward. Get these people. We want them out of here. The suit alleges the Johnson City Police Department enabled what attorneys claim was an ongoing sex trafficking conspiracy and was corruptly involved in it. From that, enable what attorneys claim, like I said, was an ongoing sex trafficking conspiracy. Okay, the JCPD never charged Williams with any sex crimes, but later video and photo evidence gathered by other law enforcement alleges to show him committing more than 50 sexual assaults at his downtown Johnson City apartment. So good to see you, Mine. Thank you for coming. As of Tuesday, Williams faces state child rape charges and federal child pornography charges, but does not yet face any charges related to the Johnson City women's allegation. If he raped one child under the age of 2, you know there's got to be other victims too. Doesn't mean that he took pictures of everyone that he's raped or victimized. So this is the lead attorney, Vanessa Bear Jones, in the center with colleagues Elizabeth Kramer Left and Heather Moore Collins. Lead attorney Vanessa Bear Jones said she was there to, quote, be transparent about the city's response to our lawsuit. She then proceeded to blame Sean Williams' victims for what happened to them. Yes, it has been. Tennessee is a whole mess. Exactly. And with Alabama being so close, it's a whole mess down there in Alabama and Georgia, all that together, the Carolinas. It's really went widespread. We're like it's some kind of virus going around with these pedophiles. She used legal terms like comparative fault to turn the focus of this case away from Sean Williams, a serial rapist, and the Johnson City Police Department's corruption, and instead to publicly shame the survivors of his crimes. As soon as she was finished, my phone blew up, Barry Jones continued. I would never forget the anguish of betrayal I heard in the voices of my clients that day. One of the great tragedies of this case is the very institutions and individuals who were supposed to be protecting and serving these women continue to fail them again and again. They continue to breach their trust, and instead of protecting them, continue to do them harm. I'll give y'all a big boo on y'all, okay? I'll give y'all thumbs down. The ones that actually advocate, the ones that actually helping people, they give y'all claps. Good old boy law. That's right, Mind the Monsters. You're right. Kathy Ball, who is not a city manager until after Sean Williams fled following a May 5th, 2021 arrest attempt for being a felon in possession of ammunition, provided the following statement. Protecting victims in the community is the top priority of the Johnson City Police Department. We encourage anyone who has suffered a sexual assault to come forward to a law enforcement agency or to our Family Justice Center. This is vital for victims to get the help they need and justice for what they said. Well, you said that, but why are you blaming the victims, Kathy Paul? Put your money where your mouth is. Prove what you have to say. Protecting victims in the community is top priority. Well, then do it. Do it. Don't just say it. Do it. You are such a liar, and I will call you a liar because you're not adhering to your words. Your words don't matter. You're defaming your mouth and you're defaming who you really are. You're showing the people who you truly are. That's all, y'all. I really get mad about this stuff. But there was other cases in here, which the other parts in here. I mean, like he's right here. Judges hear evidence, arguments, and the Child body cam footage shows moments before Sean Williams. Let's see if I can get on that before hopefully it would come up and see if it will or not. Kind of bites me a little bit. Well, it may throw a monkey wrench in a 28 million JCB PD settlement. And now we go over here. That was another one. So let me bring this down here. So computer files show 52 Sean Williams alleged rapes, and that's in 2023. Western Carolina University police found devices with images and video of more than 50 rapes allegedly committed by Sean Williams in Johnson City after arresting him in late April. A search warrant affidavit filed in Georgesburg, Tennessee states. And so remember when I said a few minutes ago, they had found a piece of paper on his nightstand that said rape list, raped. So, and he had the women's names. And then police chief said, that's probably women he had consensual sex with. That don't mean nothing. Really? And they found the child pornos and the videos and all that. But, that's consensual? Excuse me? What planet are you from? So I guess if you go like this and say, okay, the kid that's under 2 year old, that was consensual, huh? Was that really consensual, mister? Raping the kids? Why are you going like this and even helping this Robert Bowl, his other name, aka? Why are you doing that? Don't say you're there to serve and protect when you don't serve and protect. The warrant sought access to additional phones and computers that the Johnson City Police Department has held since seizing them in September 2020 during the investigation into a woman's near fatal fall from Williams' fifth floor downtown Johnson City apartment. Two other warrants filed in June and July sought Williams' DNA and other physical evidence, cited probable cause that he committed two specific rapes, both allegedly recorded in video or images in November 2019 and November 2020. And whether they got DNA or not, if he's got a video or images of him doing this, why would they need the DNA to prove it too as well, right? Riddle me that, Batman. You got the evidence right there, right? Boy. A portion of First Judicial District Criminal Investigator Mike Little's affidavit requested a search warrant of Sean Williams' computers and digital storage device stored at Johnson City Police Department since 2020. I think we as a public got a right to know and to see. Stop covering up for a pedophile. Stop covering up for a rapist, a murderer. You are not protecting the citizens. Video or photo evidence was on the North Carolina devices that showed sexual assaults, not just on those two women, but on three others who filed sexual assault complaints with JCPD between June and November 2020. They may have been the tip of the iceberg. That might have been within these piles. Your client has identified approximately 52 female victims, which are depicted in digital images of videos being sexually assaulted by Williams. There's a Tennessee First Judicial District criminal investigator Mike Little wrote in this May 31st request. Heather Jackie Glenn, good to see you. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you're here. We sure miss you. Love your lots. These assaults all appear to occur while the female victims were in an obvious state of unconsciousness and are identifiable as having occurred at Williams' apartment on 200 East Main Street in Johnson City. Little's affidavit supporting a search warrant requested access to 4 phones, 4 computers, and 3 memory cards of Williams's that the JCPD seized around September 23rd, 2020. 2 additional affidavits requested permission to collect DNA and other physical information from Williams, who's been jailed since April 29th for possible use in 2 specific rape prosecutions. Which, yeah, there might be some cases that has not been video recorded. And I figured if they did do the DNA evidence, he might be linked to a lot more of the rapes too. We love you so much, Jackie. We're so proud of you. Little's affidavit has also argued probable cause that Williams allegedly sexually assaulted at least 2 children at his apartment. Okay, I got questions here. Did he kidnap the kids and take them there? Or did the parents willingly sell the kids to him? I can't, sorry, I just have to think that kind of stuff, right? Gotta wonder when it's 2 young kids like that. You have to wonder. The 51-year-old Williams, who is currently jailed and facing federal charges, was a serial rapist. His victims encountered a JCPD that was negligent at best and corrupt at worst when it came to the downtown business owner. And remember, this police chief fired that former federal attorney lawsuit for retaliation after she pressed for rape investigations on this guy. Don't forget that main factor, okay? So they say they want to prosecute and they want to speak up. They want to prosecute the cases where the women have been done. If that's true, how come you're going with she gets fired for retaliation after she pressed for rape investigation? I beg to differ. There's proof it's there. To date, Williams has not been charged with any sexual assaults. But this put 2023, and maybe that's why these women are doing this right now, coming out like that, right? Oh man, look at here. The North Carolina files are alleged to include at least 2 series of digital images showing Williams sexually abusing an infant boy less than a year old. Ah, and a girl less than 8 years old. Man, oh man. I hope this boy is okay. But we know he's going to have face some repercussions the rest of his life of the sexual abuse. That incident and JCPD's handling of it precipitated an ongoing string of events that included the April 2021 federal indictment of Williams for being a felon in possession of ammunition. The ammunition was discovered in Williams' safe during the Evans investigation. Why are you not prosecuting on the fact about what he did to this below 1 year old, this infant? Why are you not prosecuting on any of the other essays that's been going on? It's just sad to know that it's over 400 cases of women being raped and victimized. Also, how many other kids that were not able to come forward? Because they don't have a voice. Back then, a good bit they would not remember. Like, how did he end up getting these kids? And if you're the shoddy parent, that gave access to this kid, to your kids, you need to be under the jail. You need to have your kids taken away. Your kids need to be given to a loving home, a responsible home. There's so many people out here that will love to be able to adopt a kid. They cannot afford adopting a kid. They will love to give the kid the nurture, the love that a child so deserves. And yet, you got the opportunity and you got a gift from God. A child is a gift from God. And you're choosing to let your kid be victimized by these cohorts. Well, allegations of Williams' sexual predation first surfaced publicly in former U.S. Attorney Kat Dawes' June 2022 federal lawsuit. It appears to have taken a part-time campus police officer's chance encounter with Williams on the banks of the Tuskegee River in Cullowhee, North Carolina, to blow the case open. Thank you so much, that officer. None of the multiple reports by women to JCPD has yielded a charge. Can y'all believe that? None of them. None. Zero. Whew. Serve and protect, y'all. It says to serve and protect. Who are you serving and protecting? The predators. You're serving and protecting yourself because you're a predator yourself when you side with the predator and you do not protect the person. Okay? Dahl, who pressed JCPD to more assertively investigate those allegations, eventually settled to be for the ammunition possession warrant. Here he is right here with hair. Yes, CPS is just as guilty. You are 100% correct there. Officers attempted to serve the federal warrant on Williams at his home on May the 5th, 2021, but were unsuccessful. He ended up a fugitive for nearly 2 years before WCU officer Charles Gooden arrested him during a routine patrol of a riverside parking area in Boat Ramp, Western Owens, near its campus. Well, News Channel 11 reported on WCU's discovery of 12 ounces of cocaine and 14 ounces of methamphetamine. Police also seized about 100,000 cash and multiple electronic devices and digital storage devices. Those included 2 thumb drives taped together and fashioned so that the USB ends were opposing and both drives could be used. As they investigated suspected drug traffickers due to the large amounts of drugs and cash Williams had on him, the investigations obtained a search warrant for the devices. Once North Carolina police found evidence of apparent Johnson City sexual assaults and child pornography, they alerted Tennessee authorities. Little and FBI Special Agent Paul Durant traveled to North Carolina, where WCU Police Chief Stephen Lillard reviewed some of the discovered images and files with Little and Durant. One of the thumb drives allegedly contained more than 5,000 downloaded images of child pornography. Because of its relevance to what Little called ongoing JCPD investigations, the material on the thumb drives was downloadable by Lillard for review by Little and JCPD investigator Thomas Sparks. Sparks led the investigation after Evans fell, which ultimately concluded no foul play. What? Okay, she fell, but no foul play. I wonder how that is. Did she get drugged first? It's kind of weird how somebody could just all of a sudden fall out of a 5-story window, right? Oh, but no foul play expected. uh, if you believe that, I'll give me some oceanfront property in Arizona, okay? What comes next? The alleged video and photographic evidence could have material consequences beyond just the potential prosecution of Sean Williams. Williams faces an early November federal trial on the felon in possession of an ammunition charge and a second federal charge of attempted escape after allegedly tried to escape from the Washington County Jail in July. Those could bring a total of 15 years of federal prison combined. At the state level, aggravated rape is punishable by 15 to 60 years in prison. Aggravated, but look at all it has many cases in there, over close to 500 women, right? That's a lifetime sentence. I mean, why are we threatening him to be able to stay in jail? And I mean, I would like to see him have the death penalty. Seriously, and I would like for the people that's helped him and aided and abetted him, who wants to go and prosecute the victims, they need to go to jail themselves on aided and abetted. Aggravated rape of a child is punishable by life in prison without the possibility of parole. Sexual exploitation of a minor can carry a 2 to 12-year prison sentence, and a person can be charged for each individual image. Why isn't it not being done, right? You said you got all the evidence right there. You got the victims. You had that little bitty child. Is the little bitty child not enough to be protected? Or these ladies not enough? They're the taxpayers. They're the reasons you are in office over there in that city. Do y'all not realize that they are the people that pay your taxes for your jobs? And you don't want to protect them, the citizens? What's wrong with you? What is so wrong with you? You got that much hate for humankind? You want to probably claim that you're a Christian too, but you cannot say that you're a Christian if you are not standing up for what's right. If you let these heinous behaviors continue on, how dare you call yourself a Christian and be a part of this? The affidavits and any follow up for search warrant, including potential charges, also may provide fodder for the several civil actions being pursued against Johnson City and its police department. One of those in Dahl's suit, which claims she unsuccessfully urged then Chief Carl Turner and the JCPD to investigate Williams for rape and sexual assault, and that she became concerned that Johnson City was intentionally refusing or recklessly failing to investigate or seize Williams. But remember that he got a different name, Robert Vogt. So, yes, on top of that, they had it sealed where nobody could find out the crimes that this guy had done, that this evil monster did. Another is a federal whistleblower action that's been being spearheaded by the nonprofit Whistleblower Aid. Whistleblower Aid sought alleged victims to reach out to its attorneys and other staff in the immediate aftermath of Dahl's June 2020 federal suit filing. The group could aid in at least two official complaints Dahl had filed with federal authorities, including the Department of Justice. A third is a federal civil suit, sorry, filed on behalf of 9 alleged sexual assault victims of Williams. It was filed June 21st, 2023, and launches with a start claim. For years, Sean Williams drugged and raped women in Johnson City, Tennessee, and for years, officers of the JCPD let him get away with it. News Channel 11 reached out to First Judicial District Attorney General Steve Finney's office Tuesday to ask whether the DA is pursuing efforts to indict Williams and what the timeline for what that may be. Finney responded that due to the investigation being very active and diligently investigated, his office chose not to comment now. Why not comment and you go ahead and say, yes, he will prosecute him to the full extent of the law? Why are you not saying that? Why are you supporting a pedophile and the trafficking industry? Why are you doing all this? See the different looks of what, here's one look that this picture is, and that's another look of his. But when he was wanted, get there? Different looks when he goes like that, right? And some people spoke out, and that. So some of the pictures that you see right now is people that spoke out. Okay. So without further ado, I think we got a lot on here, and I think it's important that these people get justice, right? I want to see right here, eventually, this is about the child rape. John Williams indicted on several child rape charges. That's September 14, 2023. Former Johnson City businessman Sean Williams, 51, now faces possible life in prison after a Washington County grand jury indicted him on multiple counts of child rape and sexual exploitation of a minor Monday. One of the three cases charges Williams with aggravated rape of a child or alleged incidents on December 2020, involving a child under 3 years of age. If convicted on that charge, Williams would face a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. A news release from First Judicial District Attorney General Steve Finney states Williams, who was also indicted separately Monday on federal child pornography charges, faces counts from three separate cases. The 20 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, which involved three different alleged victims, also appear to relate to child pornography. See, there's other kids involved, see? They accused Williams of knowingly using the alleged victims to participate in the production of material that includes the minor engaging in sexual activity in some cases and engaging in simulated activity in others. So, with them being under 3 years old, a parent is going to know when your child has been sexually assaulted because, I don't need to go there and explain, right? The indictments show that one case dates back 15 years, alleging Williams raped a child 2 different times at some point between May the 1st and July the 19th, 2011. Unbelievable. That alleged victim was between the ages of 3 and 13. Vic Williams is also accused of 4 counts of especially aggravated sexual exploitation in that case. See, he's been getting away with it, people. Case 2, a second case, dates to May 2020 and has the most sexual exploitation counts, a total of 12. It also alleges Williams committed aggravated sexual battery 3 times against a victim who was less than 13. Case 3, matching the 3 counts of sexual battery, 3 of the 12 counts of sexual exploitation reference Williams allegedly producing material that includes a victim engaging in simulated sexual activity that is patently offensive. The other 9 exploitation counts reference simulated sexual activity. That case, this date matches exactly one of the 3 dates on which Williams is alleged in Monday's federal indictments. So when was he out of jail, right? Another of the dates is January 2009 within the date range of the first state charge. Well, the aggravated rape of a child case allegedly occurred December 23, 2020. It is accompanied by 4 aggravated sexual exploitation counts, one allegedly involving actual sexual activity, and the other 3 involving simulated sexual activity. The final date also matches up with the 3rd count in the federal indictment. This is the timeline of connections to Cat Doll's lawsuit. The December 23rd, 2020 date places a 3rd allegation squarely in the middle of a period when former Assistant U.S. Attorney Cat Doll, at least according to June 2022, federal lawsuit she filed against Johnson City and the Johnson City Police Department, was pressing JCPD to investigate Williams for potential sexual assault. Okay, thank you so much, Shelley. Thank you for your support. And News Channel 11 has been covering civil and criminal cases involving Williams since Doll filed her suit. Doll's suit claims she has brought into a potential federal case against Williams on November the 13th, less than 2 months after Michaela Evans suffered a life-threatening fall from Williams's fifth-story apartment window. During a search of Williams' apartment in September, officers allegedly recovered not just ammunition, the cause for bringing Dahl to the case, but also a handwritten note from Williams' nightstand with the word raped written atop a list of 23 women's first names in black ink. Williams also had been named as the suspect in two JCPD police reports for sexual assault. Dahl alleges that she pressed the JCPD and its top brass to build a broader case partly due to substantial evidence of sexual assault. She also claims she began seeking a federal search warrant for Williams's computer and phone SIM card in early November 2020, but Johnson City officers did not provide needed documentation until mid-January 2021. Dahl eventually took out a federal ammo indictment on Williams. In April 2021. JCPD officer attempted to serve that several weeks later on May the 5th, 2021, but failed to apprehend Williams, who then absconded and was a fugitive for nearly 2 years. As News Channel 11 reported last month, digital files discovered when Williams was arrested by Western Carolina University Police on April 29, 2023, allegedly revealed video and images of Williams raping more than 50 women in his Johnson City apartment. One of these alleged rapes found on Williams's devices recovered in Carolina occurred in late November 2020 and was reported to police by the alleged victim, according to a search warrant filed by 1st Judicial District Investigator Mike Little. Thank you, Mike Little. 2 weeks after that alleged rape, on December the 8th, according to Dahl's suit, she met with JCPD Chief Carl Turner, now retired, and probably getting compensation for his retirement, not doing his job, not being a real police officer, but he's getting compensation for retirement. And Captain Kevin Peters, also now retired, there you go, and expressed her alarm about the new evidence as to Williams and expressed her concern that there were additional rape and sexual assault victims who might come forward. By all means, y'all, if y'all have been victimized by him, please stand up. Please, I'm begging you, help be a voice. In its answer to that section of Dahl's suit, JCPD's lawyers acknowledged such a meeting took place, but say Turner and Peters had a different opinion. That the best course of action would be to obtain the federal court indictment, felon in possession of ammunition, which would then facilitate the investigation of the other potential criminal charges. By all means, don't go directly to the police department. Go to one of these people that's actually standing up and trying to fight for the survivors, for the victims, okay? Go to some of these people that I listed their names, who are good and who are fighting for your rights. You have a voice for you to get justice. The aggravated rape of a child is alleged to have occurred 2 weeks after this meeting. Whoa! Investigations are continued with respect to potential adult victims of Williams, according to Thursday's release from the DA announcing that child rape and exploitation indictments. Williams faces 15 to 30 years in federal prison on each of the 3 child pornography counts. The 2 child rape, not aggravated charges each carry a minimum 25-year sentence. The 3 aggravated sexual battery charges carry 8 to 30-year sentences if convicted, as do the 20 especially aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor charges. No court date has been set for Williams, which this has been going on for years, so there's probably already been. He has been in federal custody since a few days after his April 29th arrest, when he was charged with more than a half dozen trafficking counts. His 2021 in Greenville, where he allegedly tried to escape from the Washington County Jail in late July. He was transferred to the Laurel County, Kentucky jail after that. Oh, Kentucky. Mike Little investigated the child rape case along with agents from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is copyright 2025. So, like I did, I read the copyright statute, the fair use. Y'all, you see right here, these people are not protected. Yes, say those innocent children. They got to, they're protecting the children, uh, but there's got to be other victims out there, but they're not making them, making him face charges for the women he exploited, for the women he trafficked. Okay? All these people that's allowing this, they definitely need to go to jail also. They are just as much at fault and to blame for every person who was victimized. Well, I thank you so much, Terry, for giving me this information on this so I can look into it and get the word out there. I really do appreciate you. God bless each and every one of y'all. And be an advocate, be a voice. If this does not get you upset and show the need for us to speak up, I do not know what will. Y'all, we are going through a lot of warfare, and we need to be wearing our armor. We need to be hyper vigilant and be a voice for others who cannot be a voice. And let's stand firm and let's get some of these people justice. Let's protect them. Let's defend them. Even though nothing can be done, possibly in my case anymore, which there are some that's still alive, which I don't think anything's going to ever be done concerning mine. But hopefully, that some of these other victims who are still being bothered by these people there in Atlanta, Georgia, Marietta, Georgia, Cobb County, Polk County, Georgia, let's remember to be hyper vigilant and protect our kids, protect our women, protect our citizens. I don't care if you're male or female. You do not need to be victimized. Thank you so much. And please, everybody, hit the thumbs up because it over here at YouTube, okay, when y'all do it over at YouTube as well, mostly at YouTube, that's going to make it be seen even more so. I thank y'all so much, and may God bless y'all.